It's Sherri Summers, your revenue attraction master life coach. Come on in here. I'm so excited. I am so excited. I am ecstatic. And the reason why I'm so ecstatic is because today we're going to be cracking the code on what our clients go through and how we can get to their frustration and we can transform their frustration and move that frustration into cash, baby. Yes. So we're going to be talking about that today, the pain points and frustration and how to turn those pain points and frustration into money. Okay. So first of all, I love helping my female financial coaches up their business game and transforming it, for them to figure out how to transform that pain. Listen, as I go through these solutions, make sure that you send me any questions that you have at info@itsherri.com. Again, that's info@itsherri.com. Any questions that you may have regarding this topic. So let me jump right in. Okay. So one of the things that this is near and dear to me is because there are times that we would tell people or market our business of the problem that we solve, and then clients will call us and we think that the client want one thing, but they want another. Right? Okay. Let me give an example. So when I started into this business, I started a property preservation business specialist. So I would declutter homes, sell a home to the highest value. That's how I started off. And I started off that way because that's all I knew. But as I went into real estate and know more about real estate, now I wanted to wholesale. And I started wholesaling. And after wholesaling, I wanted to do something more. And I just kept going up the ladder. The more educated the more information I get, the more educated I became, right? But understand that I had to stay at the level where I am in the beginning until I learned the next step. So my point is, you don't know what you don't know. So when your clients come to you, they don't know what they don't know. Sometimes they come to you thinking their financial issue is this, but really their financial issue is probably B, not A, right? And because they don't know what they don't know, they're thinking the issues that they're having with their finances is their credit, when sometimes it's mindset, right, that lead to bad credit, right? So it's up to you as a coach, it's up to you as a financial coach to speak to those pain points, but first identify clearly what those pain points look like. You have to know exactly what they want. So how do you do that? Number one, grab your pen and paper. We're going to get in it. I like to go straight in it. Number one is during your conversation, some people offer a free consultation or a paid consultation, but understand that consultation is to get familiar with the person, to build rapport. So during that first consultation, you may not get to the whole issue of what the problem may be, right? Because you may need to see the Excel spreadsheet, how I know with me, my financial coach, when I was my financial coach, it took about 4 sessions for us to get to what the pain point was and it was how I was paying my bills and times I was paying my bills. So it took about 4 sessions for us to identify that, because we got to see our expense history, right? So knowing this, the first orientation, don't try to get all this stuff in at the same time, but focus on that person. Focus on building rapport, building relationship, so you can see what the person's lifestyle is, on how they wake up, from the time they wake up to the time to go to work or time to go to sleep, where do they spend their money? Do they stop for gas? All this stuff. You got to build that relationship first so you can get a better understanding to get to their pain point. So that's number one, knowing that it's going to take more than 1 session sometimes to get to that client results. And it's important to extend that information to that client so they don't think that this is a quick fix or you're going to solve their problem overnight. You know how people are, right? So another thing that is so important is to facilitate the way the client thinks, right? Going back to what I said about number one, you don't know what you don't know. Facilitate the way the client thinks to get to the pain point so you can solve that problem. Stay with me because this is so important, all right? As a life coach, right? This is why I went into Master Life, why I got my certification in Master Life Coaching, because if the client don't know what she doesn't know, or he doesn't know, the challenge is they're thinking one way. They're thinking, if I pay off this mortgage, I'll have some money. Or if I pay off for this car, I can go buy a new car. Or if I, so it's their thinking ability. And what financial coaches I sometimes see that they do wrong is they're like, yes, save up this money and pay off for this thing. And though they're right, if the client could have done that, they wouldn't need a financial coach, right? If the client could have done that, they didn't need a financial coach. So it's more deeper. It's more a deeper thought process. It's more deeper than just paying off for something, right? It's accountability, it's discipline, all that stuff. So it's important to teach a client how to think in the process, because many of the things that we go through is because we don't know how to think. In marketing or in sales, is teaching the client, when you get out on the other side, how does that look? How will that make you feel, right? So it's not a save $2 out of each paycheck or save $10 out of each paycheck. It's more about condition the client's mind to know how to think, which bring me to number 3 is asking the right questions to arrive at the way that the client should think when they're calling themselves trying to save money, or when they when they want to become financially savvy, or when they want to be better in their finance. So instead of teaching them, hey, put away $10 of strategy, this is so imperative, guys, that you get this. Teach the client how they should be thinking, how they should be, their emotions should be on the outcome, how great, how amazing they will feel when this thing is paid off, how much freedom they will have. Get in their emotional state instead of talking about strategy of how much money to save or how this. Listen, I'm saying this is so good because it's just that's so good, right? When I realized that was a game changer for me, right? And that's why I became a revenue master life coach. That was a game changer for me to understand that it's not just about strategy. It's more importantly about mindset. So if you teach a client how to think, right? Because they're not going to learn that from their family. They're not going to learn that from their spouse. So you as a financial coach has to teach your clients how to create that emotional feeling of how it feels to get on the other side of whatever their transformation is going to be when it comes to their finances. So I have to stay on that little piece because it's so imperative. And how you do that is by asking the right questions and number 5, which is so important. As a master life coach, one thing they tell you is your client is your best subject matter expert, not you. Right? So in my case, I'm not a therapist. So a therapist will give solution. A life coach, the clientele that you deal with is their own solution. So I never try to give a solution to my clients. What I try to do, I like the client to come up with their own solution because they're the best subject matter expert. They know their spending habits. They know the mindset that keep them blocked. They are the best subject matter expert for their business. So knowing that they're the best subject matter for their business, I never try to lead them to a solution. I never try to tell them a solution. I lead them to their own solution. So asking the right questions to arrive at the results that they actually are looking for. That is so important on number 5, right? That is so important, because when you're asking the right questions about their spending habits, or you're more want to stay on the side of financial freedom. Even with my clients, we don't use the word debt free. We don't use the word debt. That's a negative connotation. We don't use the word debt. We talk about abundance. We talk about prosperity, because we want that client to think in abundance and think in prosperity while doing the strategy. Because if you're doing this strategy without the mindset of what it looks like on the other side, that is supposed to be the motivation and inspiration to keep going, because strategy alone is going to get boring and they're going to want to stop. Right? So let me really quick recap what we talk about when it comes to getting to your clients' pain points. And again, If you want to learn how to manifest your first 2K in your financial business to help clients, make sure you check out my website at itssherri.com. Again, that's itssherri.com. So let me go into really fast. So the first thing is we're trying to figure out what is the client's pain point to get to the money, right? The more problems you solve, the more offers you make, your business, your financial coaching business will see a quick transformation, right? It will definitely see a transformation. But how do we see that transformation? Is number one, is understanding that your orientation with your clients, your first orientation is very, very important, but don't try to solve everything over a day. Rome wasn't built in a day, but they lay bricks daily. So knowing this, you get to that first orientation with your clients, you get to know them. You get to know them away from just money, but get to know about who they are, what they're like. Because if I have a financial coach and she's going to tell me something that like I want to do, I may not do it because my mindset is not developed to get to where she's saying. And financial coaches, sometimes we're very detailed, and sometimes, so we have to first condition their mind to get to what we see for them. Right? So the first, understand that it may take 2 or 3 meetings before it starts clicking, then light bulbs start coming on for your clients, right? So make sure you guard your orientation accordingly, right? Now you want to facilitate a way that your clients should think to get to the results that they're asking for. So in your orientation, I'm sure you're going to have some things where like, what is your end results? And you're going to have them think mentally, emotionally, physically to get to that thing. So instead of just giving them strategy of saying, okay, save $100 out of each paycheck so you can pay off this thing, it's also have to deal with their mental emotions, because that was my challenge when it comes to money. Right? It's my mental emotion. Like, hey, I can skip to get this nail done today. I can skip getting this, but it's easier said than done. But what is the goal of me doing it? Why am I doing it? Right? What is the outcome? I got to stay on the results at all time. If I get off track, the result is of the why, or the feeling of when I accomplish that goal is what is going to keep pushing me to get to that thing. So that was number 2. Number 3, we talk about asking the right questions. Asking the right question to arrive at the results. Asking the right question to get to the pain points of what is truly the problem, right? So people are saying, oh, I have bad credit. Well, why do you have bad credit? What did you spend the money on? Like, okay, I spend the money on this, but why make you think like you got to spend the money on this thing that you don't need, or this instant gratification? You got to go deeper than just them saying, okay, my credit is bad, I don't want to fix it. It goes deeper than that. This is why I add life coaching into my business, because I know it's a mental problem, not really a strategy problem. So understand that you're going to ask the right question. Listen to number 5, so the client can arrive at their solution. So if you're telling them in number 3 how to process things, and how to think that as a financial savvy person on the other end, on the financial freedom end, should think. And if you're teaching, and if you're asking the right questions in number 3, in number 5, they will solve their own problem for themselves, because their mind is now conditioned to think like a boss, to think like a businesswoman, to think like a savvy individual. Right? So when you get to these 5 things that I just spoke about, and you write these 5 things on, and you stay in alignment with these 5 things, you will see transformation for your clients, and you will see your clients come out on the other side successfully, making revenue, making money, and saving money. Let's be very clear on that. Saving money and be more financially savvy when it comes to making financial decisions, because they've been making financial decisions not from instant gratification, but from a mindset of comprehension. And that's what we want to see. That's the goal of you as a financial coach, where you're trying for your clients to arrive to. Listen, if this is good, make sure you join me in my Release My Revenue. This group is just for financial coaches, to teach you how to market your business to clients that need your help right now. The clients that need your help right now. All right, it's your girl, Sherri Summers, your revenue attraction master life coach. Have a great day.